now that all of the World Cup games are done for the day, I got to start being a little bit more productive. I have my list of to-dos that I will go over with you once I'm done with just a short walk really quick, just to get me kind of in the mood and reset my mind, make sure that I can remain productive for the rest of the day. But this week, I believe the movement science videos shouldn't be as bad. There's not as many of them this week, maybe only 2, I believe, that are actually full content. So that will be kind of nice. However, the reading is a little bit longer, so that might impact things a little bit and make it longer than it normally is, just because the readings tend to be the things that take longer. But outside of that, it's a pretty regular week. We have our IRAT for evidence-based practice, our last one of the semester. On top of that, we do have our motor control and motor learning project that we start actually doing some of our learning in groups for, and things like that. So I'll check in with you guys in a moment. So as I mentioned before, a pretty regular week overall. Evidence-based practice, we just have our reading and the IRAT. Foundations of intervention, we have our readings, videos, and assignment for balance and PNF this week. Motor control and motor learning, we just have some group work and maybe some lecture. We'll see once the module opens up. Movement science, we have our videos, reading, and quiz that I had mentioned before, as well as some lab prep that we have for Friday. I also want to keep on my radar some review for my exam and eval, as well as foundations of intervention class that will be coming up for that final competency prep. And then finally, I have to make sure to email my schedule to my new boss so that I can be able to start right away next semester. Just got back from a nice walk. We are able to get a good amount of things done today. The only thing that we have left is really doing my movement science reading and then taking that quiz. And tomorrow should be a pretty light day, just a Zoom session from 10 until noon. So we still have lots of time to do that, especially since it isn't due until Wednesday. But I'm going to try and keep working at that reading, and maybe I'll do some more Duolingo and some other things, but I guess we'll see, and I guess I'll probably talk to you guys again tomorrow. was a pretty short day overall. Managed to get a decent amount done though. Tomorrow we just have our motor control and motor learning class in the afternoon, so I'll probably try and get some studying in the morning and maybe be able to watch some more World Cup games. So, see you guys tomorrow. Well, I'm done with classes for the day. Sadly, I did have to leave at halftime right when we got a 1-0 lead for the US versus Iran game, and luckily I checked the score and we were able to maintain that lead of 1-0. US is making it to the knockout stages, which is really awesome to see. Outside of that, I am probably just going to look at some of those highlights from earlier today really quick, and then the rest of the night I have pretty open, so I will probably work on my lab preparation materials for movement science on Friday, and we'll see what else I end up doing. Classes are all done for the day. I got to end off the day watching some of the World Cup games that were happening, Argentina versus Poland, as well as Mexico versus Saudi Arabia. That was a very intense group, so it's crazy to see Argentina and Poland going through in the end of it. But now that I'm done with things for the day, I'm pretty much just going to do my regular routine of probably going for a workout, getting some Duolingo in later today, as well as starting to work more on my examination and evaluation and fundamentals of intervention cheat sheets, because that's really starting to come up. I want to make sure that I'm utilizing the time that I have to really get ahead on those things. I did start doing a little bit of that work during my evidence-based practice time when my group was finished a little bit early. So I'll keep working on that and I'll update you guys along the way. well, that's another busy day out of the way, with Movember being done. But outside of that, I was able to be really productive, to be honest. I got a good chunk of my EE and FI cheat sheets done, and they're starting to look really good, so I'm very happy with where I'm at right now. I was also able to get lots of the regular stuff, such as my workouts, Duolingo, going for a walk, and things like that as well. So that's really huge. But tomorrow should be another busy day. I have my Fundamentals of Intervention class from 8 until noon, where we'll be talking more about our balance testing and our P&F methods. And then in the afternoon, we have our motor control and motor learning session for our group projects. My group ended up going with a fly fishing motor task, which I'm sure we will iron out the details of tomorrow, but I will be one of the beginner learners within that, where I will get a specific learning style, specific method and timing of feedback, different durations and spreading out or clumping of my learning, just to see how that can affect things. And then next week during our retention session, we'll get to see how each of the beginner learners kind of performs after learning using those different styles, and we just get to kind of analyze those and present them then the following week for our presentation, which almost sums up the class outside of the final. So I'm gonna head to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All done with class for the day. It was a great way to end the day, just having some fun doing some fly fishing. We definitely got some looks on the quad, just wondering exactly what we were doing, since we were just out there with some fishing poles and practicing our technique, trying to get our distance down and just overall improving. For my learning style, I ended up being taught purely from a video and then receiving minimal feedback from our expert within the group. And overall, I think by the end of it, I was doing pretty well. I was, based on our outcome measure that we decided, we are trying to get a specific distance within a certain width to hit the target within that area that we will have marked. And we'll have, I think we decided on 10 attempts overall. And by the end of it, I was able to get like 5 out of 6 attempts or something like that, being pretty consistent in there. So I'm very happy with my progress. Foundations of intervention, fundamentals of intervention, I always get that mixed up. But within that class, we did more with PNF and balance and started applying it to cases. We even started to review a bit of our range of motion, goniometry, things like manual muscle tests and everything like that with our final case, which it was really crazy to see how much all of us still remembered, even though we haven't really been covering that type of content in a while. So overall, a really great day. I'll probably keep working on my EE and FI competency exam cheat sheets tonight, and I don't know what else I'll do, but I'll let you guys know if I do anything else. realize I haven't really updated you guys much today, and that's because it's been a pretty long day overall. The morning started off really early with a false fire alarm that went off at 1:30 in the morning. We had to wait about a half hour to 45 minutes for the fire department to show up just to shut off the alarm and allow us to go back inside. But after that, we were able to go back to sleep and get a little bit more rest. Got to watch the World Cup games today, lots of upsets, so it was very interesting to watch, and I'm excited to see what these knockout rounds are going to be like. But then, after relaxing and just getting a little bit of studying in, I went to my movement science lab where we covered a lot of gait analysis. We used a free app called OnForm to analyze the angles and be able to kind of see if the critical events of gait were occurring in our classmates' gait patterns, as well as the gait patterns that were taught to some of our classmates, to show some gait deviations and really get us to critically think. That way we could apply some of our tests and measures to kind of be like, oh, we're seeing that they're having a straight leg during the weight acceptance portion of gait. Maybe we might be looking at testing the strength of the hamstrings and or the quadriceps, just to kind of really think of that critical thinking of what we would do with actual patients and see if we're on the right track. After that, I just got to hang out with friends, relax for a little bit. We made some Oreo cookie balls. I wasn't able to take too many of them home since a majority of them are going to a party that the PT students are putting on tomorrow. Not entirely sure if I'm going to be able to make it to it or not, so I guess you'll have to see in the next video. Next week, we are moving into the final week before finals begin, so it's going to be lots of studying and preparing for things. Most of the assignments are completely done for the semester, so it's really just going to be a study-heavy week coming up, so you'll really get to see what preparing for a finals week looks like. That's all that I have for this week. If you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe down below. This has been KBDPT. I'll see you all next week.